People can see us? Oh my God.
It's like, right, quick.
We forgot the music. So
tonight, guys, Wayne. Tonight, guys, I'm taking the back seat for a change, and Wayne is doing the show tonight. So, guys, he's the gaffer. He is everybody we look at. So, Wayne, I'll leave it to you.
Sorry. Presenter mode. Hang on. Find the switch. There we go. Right. Good evening, everybody. And
right, guys, I'll need to leave and then come back because Wayne's still. And I want to be able to see his face.
There we go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Mystical Carousel Show. And tonight we are going to be talking about paranormal equipment and what our likes and dislikes are, and quite possibly the best experiences that we've had with whatever equipment we use whilst out investigating. So tonight, apart from myself, we have Mary from Things Netherlands. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Wayne. Long time not spoken.
Long time no see. Day or so ago. And then in our bottom right-hand corner, it's almost like, was it blankety blank? Blankety blank. In the bottom right-hand corner tonight, we have Lynn Murphy.
Hi.
And then underneath me, waiting to catch my dribbles, is Tom. Oh, I've got a dribble coming.
Yay!
And then we've got someone coming in to hijack the show. It's Willow.
Hey!
Hooray!
Hooray!
Hello. How is everybody?
Hey.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Good. Okay,
yeah,
so
good,
tonight
good.
So tonight we're going to be talking about paranormal equipment, old and new, and experiments that we use with the paranormal equipment and the experiences that we've had with quite possibly our favourite piece of equipment. Obviously, we have different likes and dislikes with regards to equipment. Some people would rather go with modern technology and technology that is yet to be developed and is in the theoretical phases. So things like the God helmet, which is in the experimental phases at the moment for paranormal research. But also a lot of groups like to prefer the old style methods. So we go back to trigger objects, dowsing rods, and the basics. I'm a mixture of both. I'm prepared to use new technology, but I also prefer ultimately going back to the old stuff and using the traditional methods. So we'll start with Mary. What would be your favourite piece of old tech?
I love to use an old tape recorder, but I've got mini disc and a camera with discs in there. Don't know what they called, but all old equipment, I love them, still have them and still use them, and use them side by side with modern cameras, photo cameras, and voice recorders, and all digital stuff.
Okay. And so what would be sort of like the go-to for new technology?
Whoa. New technology. Wow, that's a hard one. Yeah, digital camera, that's handy. And for the rest, I don't use much of modern technology at this point.
Okay.
Only to debunk them.
Yes, that is a good call. I mean, I've used quite a few applications on my mobile phone many a times, and I found issues with them simply because they tend to repeat themselves, but in different locations. One of them is a device that takes supposedly paranormal photos using the
Yes.
EMF.
Yes.
And I took a photo. I took it in one location. I must have had about 25 photos.
Yeah.
Not one of them repeated themselves.
Hmm.
But then 2 weeks later, I went to a completely different location.
And you had the same
I started
picture.
the application. The first group of photos came through. None of them were repeats. But then all of a sudden, the next group of photos were exactly the same as the previous investigation.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't really say that's evidence.
A lot of fake apps out there.
Up until that point, I could have said, wow, that's amazing. We've got something here. But this particular app also has a radio frequency monitor on it as well.
Well, I like to jump in that as well because it's a recorded bank.
Yep.
I crashed the app. So it was advertisement after advertisement after advertisement, and it's cut into pieces and they destroy it.
Yeah, they were sound
up, and it's nothing more like that. So I really crashed the app.
Yeah.
One
I
evening.
gave birth to a Jacqueline, apparently.
Ah,
I mean, we have another guest joined us, and that's Jacqueline Dixon from Paranormal Path. Hello, Jacqueline.
Yay! Woo!
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I don't think we got sound.
Uh-oh.
Your mic's
Yay.
Oh, there we
Oh.
go. I think it's working now.
no.
Oh, no. I thought I heard her.
no sound.
No. Oh, I can,
I like
Technology is
all I
great,
can
isn't
hear
it?
is one.
Yeah.
You know, there's a name I have mentioned before that maybe some of you may or may not have heard. Kenny Biddle, who is a skeptic who at one time was a paranormal investigator, I guess you could say. He didn't use a title or anything, but the thing that he said that he has thought from the very beginning, even back when he still believed before he was a skeptic, he said the best equipment you can have is a notepad and a pen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
He said you
And
can't trust anything else.
And ultimately, the best that you have without having to sort of bring with you, which is on you 100% of the time, is your own eyes and ears
Yeah.
and your nose. And
But
your
I
mouth.
do have a piece
Yeah.
of equipment, though. Oddly enough, I know I'm not much in the paranormal ways, despite being on the show quite a bit. I do have old school spirit box.
Yes,
From ITC
Oh,
Research.
wow.
Hi, Jackie.
And I took the antenna out so that it
Jacqueline,
couldn't
how
get
are you?
interference. That way it didn't get interference from any signals.
Yeah.
And I tried. It actually did
Uh-huh.
work for me a little bit. I had a little conversation with my grandfather. It was weird. It didn't last long. Yeah, maybe a couple of minutes. But like I was talking, and I swear to God, I knew the voice. I knew who it was right away. And I was like, all right, wait a minute. If you're really him, I said, what's your daughter's name? And then I heard Lynn. My mom's name is Linda, but he did call her Lynn.
right.
And I was
No,
like, oh my
be
God.
careful.
And I never really used it much after that.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
sort
got
of
no
found
batteries.
fault. I found fault with the SB7 sort of pretty much straight away after purchasing it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And the fact that it scans through radio wave, it's
Yeah.
going to
Not
pick up
focusing.
the nearest radio signal.
Well, that's
So-
why I took the antenna out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you stop that ability, I mean, I always found a section where there was just white noise. I stopped the scan, and then I left it on white noise. That way, if anything came through, that would be more significant than if it was scanning through the radio.
I had that conversation
Yeah.
after I removed the antenna.
Yeah.
So, and it went on for I don't know, we'll say like 3 minutes. back and forth.
Yeah.
And then after that, I heard nothing.
Noreen says she remembers Kenny. Jackley's not got a strong enough connection from Rendlesham.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right, Wayne? Rendlesham?
Rendlesham.
Rendle.
Yeah.
Noreen also remembers
okay.
cryptids too.
The problem is with Rendlesham
You leave
Forest
my
is
cryptid to this.
the reception out there isn't great, no matter what network you're with, and the fact that you've got military bases nearby. So the signals aren't going to be fair. I mean, we've only ever managed to sort of get a strong enough signal for about 10 minutes, and then it just drops out. So it's a case of when you're filming, you just have to record, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, the application we used, the first time we used it was down in Kelvedon Hatch Nuclear Bunker. We were 4 floors down underground, and we got this radio signal through along with the strange photos. And I looked at our producer and said,
"Got you.
That's very strange that you've got radio signals coming through underground."
Yeah.
And then we noticed it was just mainly adverts with little bits of singing in. But they were literally like 20-second sound clips. And that was it. And then I went into another room and my application on my phone started to do the same thing. But it wasn't as clear as what our producers was.
Okay.
I'm like, that don't sound right to me, because you should not be able to receive radio signals down here.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the second location a couple of weeks later, a similar thing was happening. And then all of a sudden, same photos came through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the only way that could have happened is if the same spirit that gave us that first photo was with us at the same at this other location and sent the same image through.
Right. Posed the same way and everything. But
yeah,
more than
exactly
likely
the
it's
same
just
way.
a fake app, because there are a lot of people that will make these apps, and even when they're free, because they get ad revenue from their apps and stuff like that. So
I mean, I don't, 9 times out of 10, I don't trust them. I have got one that's currently being made for me. And he has been sort of straight down the line with me and told me exactly how it's going to work. And I have to do 15 1-minute sound bites. So I have to read from a book for about 15 minutes. And then what he will do is he breaks each one of those 15 1-minute recordings into 1-second clips. They then get scrambled up and then put into the application.
So it'll be your voice?
So it will be my voice.
That's weird.
So when you start playing the application, it will pick random sections of those voice clips and then join them together at random.
So people are going to think Michael Caine is talking to them.
Yeah. It'll be even worse if it come out with, "Don't throw spears at me."
Michael Caine.
Like,
I am Michael Caine.
I am Michael Caine. And I am a nosy neighbour. But no, I mean, these applications, like you say, it's ad revenue and it gets the person's name out there.
Yeah.
But I think when you've got somebody that will make the application for you and tell you exactly how it works, and then doesn't charge you for it, that he doesn't gain nothing from it.
Yeah.
And if this person doesn't gain anything from it, he gets more from TikTok than he does from selling it, getting out his apps. But I've tried a few for him, and some of them have been pretty good. But you've got to, the final problem with apps is you've got to sit there and you have got to note down what these applications are saying. Because it's all right sitting there and it come out with a word, but it could come out with a series of words that are in connection. So you run the app, but you've got to have a piece of paper and a pen handy to write all these words down. And then you've got to do the research into looking up what those words mean.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It said
that's
I've
what
got
you
a
can do.
lovely bunch of coconuts. It's weird. I didn't know.
And then you find out that the pub down the road has just
Are
played
you
that
sure?
song.
Oh,
Are you sure, Tom, they weren't talking about me?
rip tits.
So,
You leave my cryptids out there.
so okay then, Tom. We'll move on to you now.
Yes.
Now, apart from obviously a notepad and pen,
Yes.
what would be your sort of go-to
Okay.
piece of equipment that you would use on an investigation?
Were I to go on an investigation, it would definitely have to be video, I would say. But it would have to be high quality camera, not just what I have on my. I mean, I can get 4K on here, which I mean I use when I make my videos and stuff like that. But I would think video would be my main source. I'd have to have like a higher quality camera so that I can like do a frame by frame, because sometimes evidence is fleeting. It's just a fraction of a second. And if you're just taking pictures, the chances of you catching that fraction of a second aren't very likely.
No.
Yeah.
And it also records audio at the same time too. So, it would be both of them combined, but I'd be more focused on the visual.
Yeah,
and I would not be using this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people nowadays refer to would be going to video cameras rather than taking still photos.
Yeah.
Like you say, simply because you catch the whole moment rather than just a fleeting moment, which would be very hard to catch that one photo as it's doing what it's doing.
Unless you had like a stationary camera that took a photo the instant something happened, like something changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have that little sensor that like it'll take a photo as soon as it sees something move or anything like that. Then maybe you'll catch it, but maybe you won't. Maybe it'll take like a fraction of a second, and in that fraction of a second, it's gone.
Yeah, but you have in the settings also the possibility for taking a series of photos.
Yeah, true. But even then, when it starts, it might have already passed. You know what I mean? Like when it triggers that sensor, like it might have already passed, and it takes a few pictures of nothing. But if you have video going, you can always go back and watch that. Now it's a very arduous task to sit there and rewatch hours of video if you just set up a camera somewhere as you were investigating in other places, especially if you have multiple cameras, because I know all the different paranormal investigator type shows that aren't Zach Baggins. They do have a tendency to put up multiple cameras, and they have to go through all that footage. So if it's like 8 hours, they got to go through 8 hours of footage on this one, 8 hours of footage on that one.
Yeah,
It takes a while.
Yeah,
but if you catch something,
that's what annoys me more than anything is when you've done an investigation and you look at everything that you've collected throughout the night, and you go, well, okay, so and so has sent me these pictures, so we've got this, and this. We need to analyze those, and then so and so has sent me so many minutes of sound clips. And you go into it and you look at it and you go, oh my God, they've just sent me an hour and a half's worth of sound clips. I've now got to listen to all of that to see if there's anything of any significance. And it's the same with video footage. You could be on an investigation for 6 hours, recording everything that happens from multiple phones, and you could end up with 24 hours worth of film footage to go through.
Yeah.
And that's probably the worst part is going through all that footage. You could lose up to 2 days just literally looking for something, and you may not necessarily get anything.
True.
Which
is usually the case, it seems like, more so than that.
Yeah, I mean, I do say to people, if you actually get something, if you're going to send it over, actually edit it down to just that moment that you're talking about and send that over.
Don't send me the whole clip and say, if you look at 6 hours, 12 minutes, and 32 seconds, no, just edit it down. There's free software on your computer. I guarantee you that.
I've just recorded 6.5 hours of an investigation from the moment I turned up at the gate to the moment we left. There is a bit in there where we've got a ghost. We think. Well,
We
thanks,
think?
because now I've got to look through it to find it. So I do not envy my director Sam when she says I've got to now edit the show, because I know exactly what she's got to go through to edit the show. And like, thankfully, whenever we get an opportunity, we do live feeds as well.
Oh my
So,
God, Kate.
if necessary,
Just look that
you
up.
can go back to certain parts and take clips out. But I certainly don't envy her sitting there trolling through all of that footage and going, right, yeah, that's all right. We'll add that. And I think that's the only sort of con with video footage. He's having to go back through it all again.
Yeah. But it would be my ultimate proof, you know, like if I just did audio alone, there's like so many things that could be explained away.
Yeah.
You know, especially when there's a bunch of people there and stuff like that. Like, I mean, ambient sounds, echoes, whatever, you know. But if there's video footage with the audio, like say in a room, like you have your stationary camera, and then something that like didn't move for like 3 hours all of a sudden just falls over. Then it's like, all right, well, I mean, there could be something there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if it's timed well, like if you have timestamps on all of your cameras, like if you happen to be in another room saying, you know, could you make something fall for me? And then something in that room falls at that specific time, you could sync it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Lois, what is your go-to piece of old tech?
It's the one that I swear, if I win the lottery, it'll be the first thing that I buy. Is the Panasonic. That's my go-to, is the Panasonic, and I'll tell you why. Because I have had good results on it. And I had a weird experience where me and a friend were investigating, and we did an EVP, 100%. It was on everything, and show Alex and say, this is what we got. It wasn't there, even though we heard it. But the Panasonic is really, really, I think it's really, really good. It's definitely helped me with my investigating.
Okay.
Nowadays, I look at equipment altogether and I say to myself, you're paying all this money, but like, I would rather go back to the old school. Like, go back to where we were using the dowsing rods, go back to where we're table tipping and things like that. But then again, I prefer my own senses. I like to go in, see what I get, and then try and connect the dots from there.
Yeah.
But going back to what you were saying about a certain person, if it's the same certain person that I'm thinking about, I trust his apps 1,010%.
Yeah.
Because me and Jacqueline had a very, very good result from one of his apps. And it was the fact it was a Scottish accent. It wasn't English, it was nothing else, but it was a Scottish accent that came through the app.
Yeah.
Now, doing my research, this gentleman didn't have Scottish people doing it. It was just all English. So I highly recommend that guy 1,001%. I trust him.
Yeah.
But
Well, wait a
I've
minute.
went
You said
often,
10,000,001% the first time, and then it went down to 1,000,000.
Oh, right, okay. Don't drop my percentage, right? But when it comes to the necrophonics, I'm really, really on the fence with that one. Really, really on the fence, because I think people use it and they just hear the first words that come up and automatically assume that's what the answer is. Hey Jenny, But going to what Kate said too, the Estes method, I've tried the Estes method and that is really good as well. Especially if you've got strong headphones that totally blocks out sound. That would be brilliant, definitely. But there's mine, Wayne.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough. I mean, a lot of people do look at video cameras and say like video cameras have been the best thing going. And I'm sort of very similar to yourself and Tom. I do like to have a camera there to record anything that goes on, because obviously without one, it's your word against theirs.
Yeah.
And I think this is why people now use so many different video cameras or the applications that can record, because in the past it's always been, well, that's my word against yours. I know what I saw or heard, but you're telling me I didn't. Whereas with the video camera, we've gone into horrible territory with the advent of AI, which obviously now makes things difficult, because somebody can stand there and say, well, this is what I've recorded, and you look at it and it does appear to be something there, but then there will be a telltale sign that that's AI. So it's difficult. But then you get the side where you have video cameras, but you have more than one person there.
Yeah.
And then when, you could have 5 people in the room, when something happens, you've got it on camera, and every single one of those people has seen or heard whatever it was that the camera picked up.
Yeah.
You've just backed up everything that you've done. Again, it won't stop the doubters, and the pure skeptics will turn around and go, yeah, that's still fake. You've just got everybody else to agree with you.
Yeah.
But
and
a good, honest investigator would not do something like that, because that's not why they do it.
No, and if you were to get like a piece of audio that you hear something in, the best thing to do is to not tell people what you heard. Like everybody that was there in the group, like circulate it through everybody, not say what you heard. Just say, I heard something here.
Yeah.
And then, because if you put the implant in their head, well, not an actual implant, that's you're not aliens, but like if you implant that in their head, like, if you say, oh, I heard him say dog food, then everybody's going to hear dog food when they hear it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm
going to be doing, I'm doing a public event in November, and I'm going to do a first that I've never done before. And I any of the groups that I've been with in the past have never done this either. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have I'm going to get a load of those Post-it notes, and I'm going to say to people in their individual groups, if you see or hear something, rather than shout out what you've just seen and heard, write it down on the Post-it note. Then when the investigation is finished, you hand that Post-it note into a certain section in the main hub room where we all meet up, and we will analyse what you've seen. And if that corresponds with what somebody else has seen, apart from them agreeing with somebody else and saying, well, when we go on the first investigation, give it 20 minutes, and then we'll say we saw a dog run across the doorway. That's the only way you could say that would have been faked. But if you get them to write down what they've seen or heard, collect it at the end of the investigation and look back over it and go, right, we've got correspondence here from this person, that person, and this person. You could go, right, they could have agreed to do it, but this person and this person doesn't know each other.
Yeah.
Actually, the more I think about it, that's how I met Kenny Biddle. My sister sent me a link, because at the time I was very intrigued with the paranormal, and my sister said, hey, this guy is doing this little thing where you listen to audio clips, he sends them to you, and then you say what you heard on it, because he wanted to test that theory that see how many people heard what he heard, kind of thing. And then I found out that we had a lot of friends in common. And and then we just kind of hit it off and we became friends. I haven't heard from him in well over a year now, I guess, but he's busy. He works for a skeptic magazine or publication of some kind over in New York, like big time. So he's doing what he loves. But
I mean, it's difficult with sound clips because if one person turns around and says, "Oh, well, I heard it say this,"
he didn't share anybody's results.
Yeah,
So
but
he
I'm
just
saying
said, send them back to me.
Is you could go out on an investigation or a public event, and someone comes back and says, "Well, when I was down such and such, I got this on my video, my voice recorder. It sounds like it's just said such and such."
Yeah.
And then they go, "You have a listen." But that thought has already been put in your head, so the power of suggestion starts seeping in.
Yeah.
So you're automatically going to listen for that key word.
Exactly.
And then you'll hear it, and you'll go, "Now, does that say pastrami or does that say Savoy?" And because the power of suggestion has been planted there, you're looking for that word.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And I did a similar thing too, like long before Kenny. A friend of mine, ex-friend of mine, I guess, who used to live up the street from me. We went to a place that I made videos at. It's this Potter's Field, where just they put random people who don't have families, they bury them there and stuff like that. And there was a state hospital not far from that, and a lot of the people from the state hospital were buried there. And I had a digital voice recorder, but it didn't have an output, so I couldn't put it on the computer. It was just in it. And I swear to God, I heard the word nurse like 15 times throughout. And I handed it to my friend. I said, "Take this home, listen to it, tell me what you hear." And she said, "I heard the word nurse like 15, 20 times. I was like, okay, it wasn't just me. So like they're still calling for the nurse, But that's what you got to do with stuff like that, though. You don't give them the suggestion. Even with a video, you don't say, "I see this." You just say, "I saw something on here. I want to see what you see.
What did
Check
you
out this
see?"
clip." But give it a buffer time so that they don't just see the isolated clip. Just say, give it like 5 minutes. Like, watch this 5-minute video. Tell me what you see and when you see it.
Yeah, don't plant the seed. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an important part of investigating is not to sort of communicate what you saw or heard to other people, because you've got the opportunity there to turn around and say, "Well, I've seen or heard something, but here's the footage. I would like you to listen or look at it. Tell me what you see." And then, like you say, Tom, you say, "Right, the first 3 minutes.
Somewhere
Tell me
in there,
what you see or hear in that 3 minutes." And then you wait for them to turn around and say, "Well, I saw a black dog run across the doorway."
Yeah.
And then you can say yay or nay. "Yeah, I confirm it," or "No, it looked like someone on all fours running across the doorway," or or something similar. But there is something there, but you've missed out the power of suggestion straight away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
And the most spoken question on any investigation. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done that when somebody's done that, and I've turned around and gone, "Hear what?"
I'll just go, "Sorry, that was me."
I heard this, or I heard that. You've just let everybody know what you heard, and then all of a sudden you get half a dozen people turn around and go, "Yeah, I heard that. I heard the same thing," and you're like, "Okay."
And then there's just me in the corner. "Sorry, that was me. I had Mexican."
Yeah.
And that always creates a giggle when you're out on an investigation.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
But
Yes, sorry, that was me. I had a
Sorry,
go.
I farted. Sorry.
Yeah.
That would be
So-
me. That would totally be me on it.
I like it.
Or if somebody says, "Do you smell that?" Sorry.
Oh my God.
No, Tom, you've done it now, because that has reminded me of, we were filming over at an old medieval village on the Suffolk coast, which is on the east coast of the UK. And we had gone to a local pub for some dinner first before we started filming. And I had a boar burger,
Oh,
my dinner,
lovely.
high in protein.
Yeah.
And
And we went to the remains of a leper church, or a leper chapel, I should say. And we were in the main section of what was left of this church. And as we're looking around, one of the guys that's with us, he's psychic, and he picked up on this little girl and a little boy. And we found this gravestone, and he turned around and said, "This is the little girl's buried under this particular grave."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, okay." And then all of a sudden, somebody went, "Whoa, what's that smell?" And I couldn't. I'm creasing up laughing because I knew what it was. And in the end, I just went, "I'm sorry, that was me."
That was my butt. I'm
And
sorry.
of course, my friend Peter, we went, "Oh, Wayne, I'm sorry, it was the ball burger. Couldn't help it." And the worst part was that was on a live feed.
Sorry, but that wasn't a fart. That was just my butt blowing you a kiss.
The best part of it was that went onto the blooper reel for that show. But
Oh wow!
you know, it just proves we're only human.
Yeah.
But
listen, people slag me, right, when I'm out in investigation. You're all going to laugh, but it's a serious matter. But I take a toilet roll with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do. I go back edging, so I shove it up and do it on the hedge.
Do you know what? People slag me for that, and they'll be like, "Lois, why have you got a toilet roll with you?" Well, duh. Why do you think if we go to a location that doesn't have the bathroom, where am I supposed to go?
Yeah, I got it down to a fine
And they're
art.
like that. Well, put it this way, I'm not wiping my arse with a leaf. I seen that on people's lives when they said
it always pays. And this is I call it paranormal equipment because you shouldn't really go on an investigation without it. And that is a toilet roll or a packet of wet wipes.
Yeah.
You've got to take one of the two, because you can guarantee that somewhere along the road during that investigation, you're going to want to go to the toilet and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So really, that's
and I am so glad. So glad
bit of
I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not.
Oh,
No, it's only you.
Thank God for that.
I think the worst part of that though, is if it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're investigating some ruins, and you decide you need to go to the bathroom, take your toilet rolls or your wet wipes.
Yeah.
You go round the corner, nice secluded little spot, no one can see you. You do whatever you do. You come back round the corner again, and everybody's gone, "Oh, we've gone to this location now," and they've left you there.
Listen, I got to make my own ruins.
So they could be half a mile away while you were squatting down there going to the toilet. They've gone without you, and you're just left there on your own. Okay,
Wayne,
so investigating is for me then.
Wayne, I've been in places and I've done nowhere to go, and I've just said, "Just turn around and don't look at me."
Don't leave me on my own, but face the other way.
Noreen, what happens if it's diarrhea? I am not fucking sitting with a doggy poo bag trying to scoop it up.
We just take a bin bag and just hold it open.
Oh, wait. Yuck.
Oh,
sorry, guys, this is meant to be a serious night and I'm causing mayhem. Sorry, let's get back to the show.
But the weird part about it is that happens.
Yeah.
Shit does happen.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And we go to a location where the owner doesn't have mains electricity. He doesn't have mains plumbing. And the 2 bathrooms that he does have are just caravan toilets.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know they're full until he goes and checks them the following morning.
Oh.
And I've been on an investigation there where one of them has been filled during that night's investigation,
Sorry,
So
that was
we've
me.
had to close that toilet off so nobody keeps going in there and filling it up even more. You're like, okay, right. And he's literally just got an extension cable that runs from the main gate all the way along to where this toilet block is. So all you've got is this single light in each bathroom, and that's it. So of course you then have to leave a message for him and say one of the loos is full. You might want to change it.
Shitter's full.
But yeah, you'd be surprised at the amount of people that just go, well, I'm not going to bother going over there. I'm just going to go over there instead and just leave nature to it.
I'm
Nah.
gonna dig
Do
a
you
hole
know
over
what? That's
here.
the
I'll be
best
right
way
back.
because I would be scared in case anything came out of the toilet and bit me now.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what comes out of toilets.
You'd be sitting there and going,
Hiya, Jeremy.
is anybody watching?
I always feel like
Right.
somebody's watching me.
I have caused the show disruption. I am a bad girl. I should go in timeout. Right, Lynn.
Yes.
Same to you.
Right, then we now get to you.
Right.
What would be your favorite? Now, Lois missed what I said.
Right.
What is your favorite old tech?
Oh, well, when I first started out on all this, it was like...
Many years ago.
Yes. Talc powder. Yeah.
Yes.
Shed alarms.
Yeah.
With a locked off camera. And
Hi, Jeremy.
we used to put pennies round and draw around them and just leave them there. Tape recorders. Proper tape recorders, you know.
Yeah.
And a good camera, really. That's I mean, I always went to them.
Yeah.
And I used to, I'll show you actually. This is my first camera.
Hi, Angelina.
That's my first camera. And I bought it about 20 odd years ago. Handycam, Sony, night vision.
Yeah.
And I still use it to this day. I've got that. I've got several. I've got lots. I've got a 4K one.
I have that same camera.
Yeah, two
Yeah,
or
The
three
last
of
one.
them.
Put up.
So they are.
I've got all sorts of cameras. Another Handycam. And this one.
Oh my word.
Yeah. I've got that. I've got all
I've got the original Most Haunted one of those.
yeah.
Black with the Most Haunted logo on it.
And then there's this with the blue lights. I've always used
I
that.
love it.
Very, very,
Love,
very
love,
good.
love it.
That's a blue light one. And this one I thought was amazing. A bit slow. I don't use it now. And it's a ghost box. So you get onto your radio.
I had that one too. That's the Radio Shack hack.
Yeah, flicks through, but it's a bit slow. So I don't
Yeah.
use that anymore. But it's nice.
You had to actually
Big
modify it
zoom in
yourself.
Yeah. And it wasn't. And then later on I got this, which is an Ovilus 3.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yep.
And it's interesting that because I don't use it very often, but when I do, it's a bit like remembering when I went back to like the early 80s and all these computer games were coming through and this noise was coming off it and it was saying the words in a certain way. But,
Shall we play
and then
a
does
game?
it repeat itself? Because there's a lot of stuff on here that you could use that you don't really get to use anyway. But that's an interesting one that I used many years ago. And it wasn't until a few years ago I got one of them.
Yeah.
And they don't work for me.
It's a cat toy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's the exact same technology as a cat toy. It's just when you buy it as a paranormal thing, it's more expensive. But it's the exact same inner workings as like the little cat toy that the cats pat around that light up. Same exact thing.
Well, over here we have what they call Poundland, and everything originally when the shops first opened, everything was £1.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
It's like a dollar
ranges.
store here.
And so we have this, and it's like 2 cat balls for £1.
Yeah.
And for some unknown reason, Poundland made an absolute killing selling these cat balls to paranormal investigators, because one paranormal team would go into that shop and buy every single cat ball so that the people that turn up on their events can all have one to use during the event.
Yeah, that's it.
And one team I went with once, they literally had a box of 100 of these cat balls. And I'm like,
sorry.
seriously, why?
I know this is supposed to be more serious
But-
tonight, but I'm sorry, Poundland is something totally different here. It's an act more than it is a place. But we have similar things.
Yeah.
They're dollar stores we have here.
Yeah.
But man, Poundland, that's
But like
that
these
sounds like a porno. I'm
These
sorry.
have never, ever
Oh.
worked for me personally. I've gone out, done anything personally until I've been to my castle. So my son got this new app, and on this app, there was nothing on it. Nothing. So the words come after. So we put this, switched it on onto one of the windows where we were in the basement of this castle, and left it there. He switched the app on, and it mentioned about the multicoloured ball, which I thought was impressive. That was impressive. I like the old-fashioned way, but something I'm not really up with these. I'm not really. I'm on the edge with them anyway. But it's like Tom said. I've had video evidence, and I've had it on my little tape recorders.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I've had the same sounds on both. And I've been
good confirmation.
Photographs. It's like you were saying, Wayne, is whether people believe you or not. I took an absolutely stonking picture the first time I went to Morecambe Winter Gardens years and years and years ago. And in this photograph, we just happened to walk around, and I photographed down the theatre into the stalls. And you didn't know, I'd never looked at it till I got home, and it had a picture of a Victorian lady sat there. And she's got, I don't know whether it's a glass thing or, binoculars. I think it was a glass thing, and she was there. So when we had the meeting at this group, I took it along to show, and I was ripped to pieces. And then the month after, on the next one, one of the ladies who'd come, but we was sort of like split up, and she was in another group walking round. She took that same photograph at the same time from another side, and she got exactly the same as me. So within that 1 second, we both captured this lady. And until then, nobody believed me. They thought I was lying. And I'm not up on technology. I'm not big on that. So when people calls you a liar, and I know I haven't touched it, I get a bit peed off about that, because I'm not, but some of the good technology, I mean, you mentioned that app before, Lo, about, what's that phone one you mentioned?
Panasonic?
Something like that. You've got Spirit Talker, haven't you? And you've got the other one. I was in this, in fact, I was with Robbie Crossan. And things were coming through, and he had his mate with him. I had my son with me, and we were in this old building in the middle of nowhere on a postcode. That's all I knew. Unbeknownst to me, I was the other side of the country. That just went there, and these things were coming through, and I'm not really big into them, but the stuff on the Spirit Talker, and the same thing was coming on that NAS, whatever it is. They were the same words all the way through. I thought that was a bit impressive.
Yeah.
That sort of like, I thought, well, that's quite good, that is. I enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, it's like photographs. You've got to be careful these days, because with AI, if you're up into all that, if you're very clever at being able to edit and this and that, you can make anything appear.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can make
my
anything appear. And you've
If
got,
Before AI, like if you
Yeah.
have, if you're good at Photoshop or something like that.
yeah, exactly. So
I mean-
I'm really into all this. I like the old-fashioned way. But they say, oh, you don't need that anymore. We've gone on to this now. Well, yeah, it is good. Do you know how?
Yeah.
I'm always questioning. I have to question everything. Even though I believe, because I've seen that much, heard that much, got the evidence, bought the T-shirt, the whole lot. But I've still got to question it.
Yes.
Always. I mean, I get on people's nerves, to be honest with you. It's not because what happens is I question, and do you think it's happened because of that? Do you think this has happened because of that? And it really, really does get on people's nerves, but I've got to question it.
Yeah.
I have to question it, because if I don't, I start doubting myself then. Do you know what I mean?
Ew. I think that's one of the biggest things, isn't it? Is that you have these apps. It's how well do you trust those apps? Looking into how it was, or possibly look into how it was put together, because that is probably one of the biggest things with most social media and most applications. It's all about algorithms, how it was programmed. And I'm using an app on my phone called Ghost Hunter Tools, and that has an EMF meter, and it has a word generator put in it as well.
Right.
And it's very rare that the actual application will give out. Oh, I'm chopping me neck off now. It's very rare that it will come out with a sentence.
Yeah.
Well, I turned the app on while we were talking, and it came out with a sentence. Literally, just off the cuff, a sentence came through, and it literally said, "It is here." So there you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Now that I've
Wow.
only ever known a complete sentence to come out on that once before, and that was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But the EMF meter on it has not stopped, and that is currently.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that is literally constant. It literally, for a split second, drops down to the green, then it goes straight back up to the red again. Yeah. And one incident where our film crew for Truth Beyond Paranormal, we were out on an old Roman causeway, and we were overlooking towards London from where we were. Yeah. And I turned around, and we had probably 9 applications all running at the same time, all coming out with random words. The EMF meter was going up and down. I took a picture with my phone and then went, "Oh, that's weird." And they went, "What's the matter?" I said, look at the picture. The sky's all purple. Yet when you actually physically looked at it, it was just going orange into dark blue into literally pitch black. And everybody was like, "Wow, that's a bit strange." And then all of a sudden, everybody's application all said sky, one after the other.
Wow, how interesting.
Every single one they went, "Mine's just said sky." Then somebody else went, "Ping, oh, mine's just said the same thing." And 9 applications that were all running at the same time all said the same thing. And then shortly after that, it was almost as if it was trying to, I'm going to deceive us into what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because as we turned around and went to go back towards the car, we saw this vehicle's headlights come down this hill towards where we parked. And it went into the lay-by and parked in front of my car.
Right.
But when I got to my car, this vanished. Had gone completely, and it was an old Volkswagen Beetle headlights. So they were the pure round ones.
Yeah.
And they had a slight yellow tinge to them.
Yeah, I can remember.
We watched them come down the hill. We saw them pull into the lay-by in front of my car. Yet when we got to the cars, the car had vanished. It hadn't gone past us, hadn't turned around and gone back up the hill. But that particular spot is very notorious at winter time for people to have accidents in their cars because of black ice. Very
Right.
notorious. The amount of people, including one of my
Hey,
old cars,
everyone.
has ended up in the sea because the driver was an idiot and hit some black ice, and it went straight off the causeway into the sea.
Oh wow.
So it wouldn't surprise me to have seen something like that, but normally it's a Roman centurion that's seen crossing that causeway.
Oh right.
So we were all wondering whether all those apps, how could that algorithm communicate with other devices that are on flight mode
Yeah.
to say the same word? And that to me has been the only application that I would swear by on my mobile phone is the Ghost Hunter tools, because when you've combined it with evidence from other Ghost Hunter tools on other people's mobile phones, for it to come out the same word, you can't recreate that with different people's phones. So I mean, that's always been quite important to me, is making sure that we have got the right things going at the right time with the right people. And I just think it's awesome when you get that result.
Yeah. And I tell you,
Well,
what used to really catch me eye, let's say it caught me eye. Do you know when those little stick men, they started using that thing with the stick men?
Oh, the SLS.
Right. So I used to be like this, right? The stick men would appear and be like, wow, what's that? Well, I'm thinking, hold on, there's no energies, there's nothing on there. Well, why is it turning up? Why is it up? Why is it standing up there? And I'd be like this. Thought, oh, it's not right, this. And it took years for it to click. And it was just picking up on shapes, wasn't it? That's all it was picking up on the shapes.
The thing is, when that application appeared on mobile phones, I debunked it straight away.
Yeah.
Because I know where the technology originated from.
Right.
And it came from the original Xbox Connect camera.
That's it, yeah.
And that was a gaming device to allow it to map the person that was playing the game and put it into the game itself. And someone's just downsized it and put it into an application.
Yeah.
And I said to people at the old Nick Theatre in Gainsborough, someone was going, oh my God, I've caught something on my SLS, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, where are you? So they've radioed back. We're in one of the changing rooms. I've gone walking in there. There they are. They're all standing there pointing at the screen going, look, it's there, it's there. So I turned round into the doorway and I looked and I worked back and I went, is he about 6 inches tall by any chance? And they went, what? I said, this stick figure that you're seeing, is it about 6 inches tall? Well, it's there, it's there. I said, no, is it the same size as that fire extinguisher? And they went, exactly the same size. I went, right, it's the fire extinguisher. And they went, well, why is that? I said, because the fire extinguisher has been picked up by the algorithm in the camera.
Yeah.
The algorithm is designed to pick up a neck and shoulders, and then it fills in the blank. So top of the head, arms, elbows, so on. I said, so it's seen the fire extinguisher, it's put in the shoulders, put in the neck, filled in the rest. You're seeing a 6 inch tall figure of someone dancing in front of the fire extinguisher. And they went, oh, really? I went, yeah. And to prove it, let's turn that 6 inch figure into a 20 inch figure and point at that chair. And they turned the camera and pointed at the chair, and this little figure turned up again because it's the top of the chair. And I'm like, see, prove me point.
Yeah.
But it's when it's when that figure walks away from the fire extinguisher or walks away from the chair, that's when it changes. That's when you've got a difference in that camera, because the algorithm cannot do that.
Yeah.
It won't allow it. So
what I was going to say, guys, is I know we're going on the line, obviously equipment, but it gave me an idea for, sorry, my kitchen's a riot. It gave me an idea for next week's show. It's something that we've never ever thought about, guys. the famous figures now, before all the big heads out there think that they're getting spoke about, no, because you're not famous, is the famous figures of the paranormal, like the ones like Harry Price, you know, and things like that. That would be a good one to talk about.
Definitely. We'll go that for next week.
Because it's something that we've never ever, it's something we've never ever did. And it's something different. Definitely. And you lucky viewers tomorrow night get to ask us questions, no holds barred.
No.
You can ask us anything you want. When it's like, oh no. Right? Guys, it's a free for all. It's going to be a laugh. Please come along. Please tune in, guys, because it will be some
I
laughs.
think I'm mysteriously coming down
you
with a
can
cold.
I'm working. I won't
Don't
be here. I'm working.
Don't you talk shite,
Oh, I
Ben.
see Lynn skates it. She's working. Oh, if anybody
well,
doing
I'll just phone
paranormal
Lynn's work.
investigation tomorrow night,
Oh.
let me know and I'll come along.
No. If anybody tells me that there's a paranormal investigation, I'll kick ass.
PM me, your secret's safe.
But on the serious side, guys, it will be a good night and it will be a good laugh. What Lynn doesn't know is I'm going to phone Lynn's work tomorrow and tell them that she's sick. Can't come in. Can't come in. Sorry, she's sick. I wouldn't do that, guys. I wouldn't do that.
Just phone up her boss and go, hello, it's Lynn here. I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. I can't come in.
And then they'll be like, holy shit, Lynn's turned Scottish. And they'll be like, how did that happen?
I've got Scottish-itis.
See,
I like that.
Well, that's it. Also, guys, right? I was having a wee thought in my head, right, as a joke. But I know who loves cat balls, right? And I think we should buy a set of cat balls and make Christmas lights with them, and very be generous. Well, we could do spelling. I won't tell you what the spelling is because it's no age appropriate.
Well,
but I would definitely send them.
I thought of a few
because
things like that. I've thought of contacting a few friends of mine and buying something like 10,000 cat balls and have them airdropped all over Bristol. So you know, every corner he turns, there's a cat ball.
Can you imagine the 6 o'clock news? It's raining. It's raining cat balls in Bristol.
You go out into his back garden and put the washing out, and there's 1,000 cat balls just laying there. Someone's taking the mickey out of me.
That's just doing an investigation.
It'd be even better if they all started flashing at once.
Oh dear God.
Oh guys, we are terrible. We are going to hell. But I want to thank Wayne for the show tonight, because honestly, as soon as he said, he gave me the phobia when we were speaking last week, when he said about experiments and new technology, because it ain't my field. So I would have wrecked tonight and talked a load of shite. But Wayne knows his stuff, and it's good that he knows his stuff, because
you don't.
No. I don't. Listen, if I've got to mark in my shoes left and right, how am I going to know about technology?
No, that's true.
This is very, very
but
true.
The thing is, you could still put L and R in your shoes and still put them on the wrong feet. Just saying.
It's bad when you run out with two different. It's bad when you have to see your friend and you run out with two different shoes on.
Well, that depends if you're Diane Abbott or not. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I went political.
Oh,
Well,
depends if you're in the 80s.
cheeky shite.
You're all right if you're in the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, shell suits and all that.
Yeah. I never owned a shell suit.
Yep.
I
But
did.
guys, you've had a
Wait, what colour was it? Shame on you. Shame.
It was purple and blue.
Oh,
The good thing was, though,
oh,
it did give some heat off for about 2 minutes, and that was when I put a lighter to it.
okay.
oh dear.
Wayne, Stephen, you're terrible.
That's fashion.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It is fashion. It is fashion. But thanks very much, guys, for everything that you do. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming in, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow night when Wayne will be here. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Microwave.
Bye. Oh my God.